coming to my faculty presentation today for my research topic. My question was, will using hands-on math manipulatives build a foundation for students to be able to add fluently on their own? My problem statement was that I've taught second grade now for 4 years, and each year I notice a trend that many students aren't able to add fluently between 1 and 20. Because of this, it's challenging for them to master second grade standards such as adding and subtracting 2 and 3 digit numbers due to missing the basic facts. I chose to research interventions for addition to help fill the gaps for my struggling students. Recently, we've been working on 2 and 3 digit numbers, and every year, even if they know how to add those numbers, a lot of times what they miss are those basic facts. And this year I had a handful of students come to me, if the equation was 3 plus 4, they'd say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and still maybe not get the same answer. So I decided to work with that group of students. For my literature review, whoever, I can't pronounce that, Vocalize, states that students need to analyze their own thinking and that strategies cannot be taught, yet are developed through application. Research suggests that 70% of instruction time be allotted for fluency practice activities, which all of my research that I read about, they talked about modeling, feedback, and reinforcement. According to the National Council of Teacher of Mathematics, developing a solid mathematical foundation is essential for every child pre-K through second grade. This emphasizes the importance of building numbers. Manipulatives, repeated practice with real-world problems, inventive strategies, and working with peers improve number sense. So with my research, we tried to meet at least 3 days a week, but I had to be really flexible. But every time we met, we modeled, I gave feedback and reinforcement. Even if I felt like they were getting it and knew the answer, we modeled, feedback, reinforcement. I chose to do both quantitative and qualitative research. In our book that we use for our class, it says if you can use both of them, it gives you room to be more flexible. And with our schedules, I just felt like that was the best route for me. So for my quantitative data, we did a weekly quick check that I gave every Friday. Each Friday I gave the same questions, so it was the same test every Friday. Without the students knowing, I recorded the time it took them to take the fact test. I would just have the timer below my table while they worked. My manipulatives were available. The manipulatives I used were colored cubes every week in a 10 frame, so they could build out the facts using different colored cubes. A lot of times I had them sitting on the tables when they did their quick check. Most of the students decided not to use them. And there were 25 questions each week. My qualitative data was my observations, and in the journal I just kind of jotted down student conversations, their actions, what their what their misconceptions was, and I took notes each time we met in our small group. Like I said, I met with 5 students weekly for about 10 to 15 minutes. At first I was trying to meet with them every day. That didn't work, so now we met at least 3 times a week. We reviewed a different addition fact for each week, so we started with +1, +2, built all the way to +9. And then the last 2 weeks of the research, we talked about turnaround facts, doubles +1, all those strategies. Students built the facts on a 10s frame using colored cubes to represent each number. Again, the first week I started this, we were just kind of doing it on the table, and I noticed that they were getting confused and counting cubes twice, so we implemented the 10s frame so we could organize our thinking. Students made weekly flashcards of the numbers that we were practicing. The students also worked on programs like iExcel, Moby Math Fact Practice, and also the whole group fact practice that we do each week. My data analysis, like I said, I used a mixed method of data, qualitative and quantitative. I used the narrative style of writing for my observations in my journal. Babyon states that in a participant observation, the researcher becomes a player in the action and interacts with the subject in the activities within the studied environment. So I would have conversations with my students and kind of try to guide their thinking as I was things I was observing. And each week I compared their work samples that they did on Friday. My findings was over 8 weeks. My 5 students, as you can see, this is the number they got correct the first week and how long it took them to take the test, and this was over 8 weeks. So as you can see, each student did show improvement. Each student did show improvement with their time. I have a couple of students who still are not mastering our facts. This particular student, you can see, was absent, is very chronically absent, so I think that may be a factor in that. And then this is one of my special needs students who receives services. But as you can see, each student did improve their time on taking their fact test and improve the number that they got correct. In conclusion, will using hands-on math manipulatives build a foundation for students to be able to fluently add on their own? The answer is yes. All 5 of my students showed growth and improvement. Are there any questions?